Total French with the Michel Thomas method. Copyright 2011. In the methodology, Thomas Keymaster Languages LLC, all rights reserved. In the recording, Hachette UK.
You're just about to experience a new and different approach to learning and to language learning that will give you the practical and functional use within 10 to 12 hours of learning time. All this is achieved and will be achieved without memorizing, which means there's never anything to memorize, without learning by rote, without drill, without textbooks, without taking notes, and without homework, without any mental homework. First, it is very important for you to be relaxed, to take off, to leave off any form of tension, any form of anxiety that is usually associated with learning and traditionally also particularly with language learning. And any form of anxiety, any form of tension inhibits true and effective learning. Before starting, there are two ground rules that are very important. The first ground rule is for you never to worry about remembering, and therefore never to try to remember, because this is a method where the responsibility for your remembering is in the teaching and not with you, not with the learner. And this is a method where the responsibility for attention is in the teaching and not with the learner. Therefore, there's no homework, not even any mental homework. It's very important not to review even mentally of what you've learned. Let it be absorbed and internalized to become knowledge. And what you know, you will not forget. Now come to ground rule number 2. That is very important. That ground rule is that in the course, I'm using 2 students as a teaching device in order to create a learning situation for 3. You become the third in the group, and very quickly you will associate with the 2 on the tapes. You will become part of it. And it's very important, therefore, that after I introduce a concept, I will follow up in a practical way and show you how to formulate and to express thoughts in sentences. First, those will be short sentences, then more and more complex and longer sentences. And whenever I say, how do you say it? At that point, it's very important, I repeat, very important for you to use the pause button on the machine, which gives you time to think it out, to think it through, and to respond out loud. After you respond, you release the pause button. You will then get the response from one of the 2 students, and after that I will repeat it, so that the last impression is always what you get from me. And this is how you will experience a constant sense of progression, a constant sense of learning that you will find exciting, stimulating, and self-rewarding. Thank you. Now, a few words about the French language. You'll get acquainted with a language that is not entirely foreign, alien to English, but that there's a broad common basis of familiarity between English and French. So much so that over 60% de votre vocabulaire anglais, of your English vocabulary, comes from French, are d'origine française, are of French origin. Because English is actually a mixed language, mixed between Anglo-Saxon, Germanic Anglo-Saxon, and French. The French that was brought over to the British Isles with the Norman invasion. The Normans spoke French and did so for a few hundred years. So for a few hundred years, England was bilingual with Anglo-Saxon and French spoken. But that is a different story. Practically, 2 out of 3 or 4 words in English come from French, are d'origine française, of French origin. When Alexandre Dumas, the French author, once decided to learn English, and when for the first time he looked at an English book, he noticed all those similarités, all the similarities between English and French. And he finally exclaimed, but English is all French, badly pronounced. And he had a point with that, because with most words it's just a question d'accent, a question of accent. Just a différence in the prononciation, a difference in the pronunciation. So pour commencer, to start, I'm going to give you a few keys to show you how you can retransform votre vocabulaire anglais, your English vocabulary, back into French, so that within the next hour or so, you will have a starting vocabulary of between 2,000 and 3,000 words, which is not bad to begin with. Especially, si vous considérez, if you consider how limited the vocabulaire is, which we use in our everyday language. Le vocabulaire actif, the active vocabulary used in our everyday language, may vary between 500 and 1,500 words. It's very small, very small. If I think of a newspaper in New York, one of the major newspapers, where they decided years ago to find out how many words they use in the whole newspaper, how many different words. And they came up with 600. All those words in English come from French. And in French, IBLE is pronounced ible, like possible would be possible, with a light touch of the, hardly audible touch of the L, possible. But same spelling, same meaning, possible. So IBLE is able because the letter I is pronounced E. And ABLE is pronounced able because the letter A is pronounced A. Table is table. Comfortable, confortable. So again, how would you say possible in French?
Possible.
Possible, right. And table?
Table.
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 And comfortable? Would be
Confortable.
Yes, what's more?
Confortable.
Confortable. And you know, you may have heard the expression c'est la vie.
C'est la vie?
Yes?
Oui.
Somehow everybody knows that. C'est la vie. Do you know what it means?
That's life.
That's life, right. That's life. So c'est, spelled C''est, means it is, or that is. C'est.
C'est.
And la vie means life, the life. If you want to say it is possible, would be?
C'est possible?
Right. C'est possible.
C'est possible.
Right. It is comfortable.
C'est confortable.
C'est confortable. Right. The word for good is bon. Like bonbon is goody-goody. It is good would be?
C'est bon.
C'est bon. If you want to make it very good, would be très bon. Très means very. So it is very good would be?
C'est très bon.
C'est très bon. And it is very comfortable?
C'est très confortable.
Right. C'est très confortable. Probable would be
C'est prob... oops. C'est probable...
well, it is spelled with A-B-L-E.
Ab.
Right.
C'est probable.
Right. C'est probable.
Probable.
Right.
C'est probable.
Yes. And it is acceptable.
Acceptable.
Right. So it is acceptable.
C'est acceptable.
Right. C'est acceptable. For me is pour moi. Pour moi.
Pour moi.
Pour means for. P-O-U-R. Spelled P-O-U-R. Pour moi, for me. So it is for me would be
C'est pour moi.
c'est pour moi. Yes. And for you would be pour vous. Vous spelled V-O-U-S. It is for you would be
C'est pour vous.
c'est pour vous. Yes. Pour vous. C'est pour vous. It is very comfortable for me.
C'est très confortable pour moi.
Confortable.
Confortable
Yes.
pour moi.
Right. C'est très confortable pour moi. You're trying to remember. Please don't. Okay. So again, it is would be
C'est.
say. And it is not is ce n'est pas. Ce n'est pas. It starts like a snake. It is not a snake. Ce n'est pas. It is not. The word for not by itself is pas. Spelled P-A-S. If you want to say not for me, thank you would be not for me.
C'est
Not. No, just not is
pas.
pas. Not for me would be
Pas pour moi.
pas pour moi. Merci. Merci is thanks. Merci. Merci, thanks. Pas pour moi, merci. Not for me, thanks. Yes. Pas pour moi. So again, it is
C'est.
say. It is not
Ce n'est
ce n'est
pas.
ce n'est pas. Right. Ce n'est pas. It is not for me.
Ce n'est pas pour moi.
Ce n'est pas pour moi. But just not for me, thanks.
Pas pour moi.
Merci.
Merci.
Right. Pas pour moi, merci. It is not very comfortable for me.
C'est ne...
It is not.
Ce n'est...
Say it again. It is not. Starts like a snake.
Snake.
So,
Ce n'est pas
ce n'est pas very comfortable.
très confortable.
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 Right. Ce n'est pas très confortable for me.
Ce n'est pas confortable.
It is not very comfortable
Ce n'est pas très confortable
for me.
pour moi.
Right. Ce n'est pas très confortable pour moi. You may have heard the expression comme ci, comme ça. Have you ever?
Yes.
Yes. Because it's used so much. Comme ci, comme ça means actually so. Literally, comme ci, comme ça means comme ci, like this here, comme ça, like that. The comme ça part, the second part of comme ci, comme ça, is used very much in French for like that or that way. If you want to say it is like that, would be
C'est ça?
it is like that. It is. Again, it is with
C'est
right. And like that is
ça.
no.
Pas.
I don't want you to guess. Think it out. But don't guess. So, like this, like that is comme
Comme si,
and
comme ça.
comme ça. The comme ça part means like that or that way.
Right.
So if you want to say it is like that, would be
C'est comme ça.
c'est comme ça, right. It is not like that, would be It is not.
Ce n'est pas
Mhm.
comme ça.
Right. Ce n'est pas comme ça. How would you say, it is not possible for me that way?
Ce n'est pas
Possible,
possible.
possible,
Possible
for me,
pour moi.
like that.
C'est ça.
That was a guess. I don't want you to guess. What is like this and like that?
Comme ci, comme ça.
So what is like that?
Comme ça.
Comme ça. So don't rush it, but think it out. So again, it is not possible for me like that.
Ce n'est pas
Possible,
possible.
possible,
Possible
for me,
pour moi.
like that.
Comme ça.
Right. Ce n'est pas possible pour moi comme ça. If you want to say, I'm sorry, you may want to say it sometimes, is je regrette. Je regrette. I regret. Je means I. Yes, it's soft. Je regrette. I regret or I'm sorry. Je regrette. How would you say it?
Je regrette.
Once more.
Je regrette.
Je regrette. Once more.
Je regrette.
Not je.
Je
regrette.
regrette.
Right. Je regrette.
Je regrette.
Yes, je regrette. So je regrette, I'm sorry, I regret. Usually followed by but. Yes, I'm sorry, but je regrette mais. Mais means but. Je regrette mais. So how would you say, I'm sorry, but it is not very comfortable for me that way. I'm sorry, but.
Je regrette.
But.
Mais
It is not
ce n'est pas
very comfortable.
très confortable
Comfortable for me
pour moi.
that way or like that.
Comme ça.
Right. So, je regrette, mais, I'm sorry, but, je regrette, mais, ce n'est pas, it is not, très confortable, very comfortable, pour moi, for me, comme ça, like that or that way. So how would you say, I'm sorry, but it is not acceptable for me that way?
Je regrette.
Yes, once more?
Je regrette.
Yes, je regrette.
Je regrette.
But
Mais
it is not acceptable
ce n'est pas acceptable
for me
pour moi.
like that.
Comme ça.
Right. Je regrette, mais, I'm sorry,
Je
but,
regrette, mais
ce n'est pas, it is not acceptable pour moi
comme ça.
How would you say, it is very remarkable?
Remarquable.
Right. It is very remarkable.
C'est très remarquable.
Right. C'est très remarquable.
Remarquable.
Yes. Considerable.
Considerable.
Right. Considerable. Words in English ending in ENT and ANT come from French. They're the same. Same spelling, same meaning. Pronounced ang. ENT and ANT is pronounced ang. Like different would be
Différent.
différent. Important would be important. Yes.
Important.
Important. Yes. The IN and IM is pronounced un. Important. And the accent, the stress, is always softly at the end of a word in French. Always put it at the end. Yes. It may often make the difference between being understood or not being understood, depending on putting the accent at the end, the stress at the end of a word. So it is not very different that way, would be.
C'est différent.
Don't rush it. Think it out. It is not.
Ce n'est pas.
Right. You see? So again, it is not very different.
Ce n'est pas.
Very different.
très différent,
Like that.
comme ça.
Right. Ce n'est pas très différent comme ça. But it is very important for me.
Mais c'est très important pour moi.
Right. Mais, but, c'est très, it is very important pour moi. Très is spelled T-R-E-S. The S at the end of a word may be pushed over to the following word if the following word starts with a vowel and it takes on the sound of a Z, of a Z. For instance, very important can be très important. But the S is hooked on to important, to the vowel. In slow motion, it is très important. So it's not très, but
Right.
très important. C'est très important, yes.
Très important.
If you cut, then there's no push. If you cut after très, you say c'est très important, or c'est très important. Evident would be
Évident.
évident, yes. Recent would be
Récent.
récent. Constant,
Constant.
constant. And words in English ending in "ery." Everything in "ery," like necessary, contrary, military, everything in "ery." "Ery" goes up into the air. So instead of, in the spelling, A-R-Y, is spelled A-I-R-E. So necessary would be
Nécessaire.
nécessaire. Nécessaire.
Air.
Yes. So it is not necessary for me.
Ce n'est pas nécessaire pour moi.
Right. Ce n'est pas nécessaire pour moi. Contrary.
Contraire.
Contraire. Yes. You may hear French people say au contraire. They like to say that. Au contraire, meaning on the contrary. Au contraire. Au contraire. Military.
Militaire.
Militaire. And vocabulary.
Vocabulaire.
Right. Vocabulaire.
Should you try and visualize the word?
Yes, sure. I'm giving you the spelling, so visualize the spelling mentally. Yes. You're not writing it down. I would like is je voudrais. Je voudrais. Je voudrais. I would like. I would. Je voudrais. Je voudrais. Voudrais is spelled in one word, V-O-U-D-R-A-I-S. Je voudrais. I would like. Je voudrais. So again, I would like.
Je voudrais.
Je voudrais. Once more.
Je voudrais.
Je voudrais. Like to speak is parler. Parler. You may have heard the expression parlez-vous français or whatever. Parler, to speak, spelled P-A-R-L-E-R. Parler. And to speak French would be parler français. So I would like to speak French would be I would like.
Je voudrais parler français.
Right. Je voudrais parler français. With you, with is avec. Avec, spelled A-V-E-C. With you would be avec vous. With me would be avec moi. So I would like to speak French with you.
Je voudrais parler français
With you.
avec vous.
Right. Je voudrais parler français avec vous. And will you please is voulez-vous. Voulez-vous. Like voulez-vous. Will you. Actually, voulez-vous has two meanings. That means will you please. It also means do you want. But let's use it now as will you please. Voulez-vous. Like, will you speak French with me would be
Voulez-vous parler français avec moi?
right. Voulez-vous parler français avec moi?
Voulez-vous parler français avec moi?
Right. To come is venir. Think of the veneer on the wood that does not come off. Venir. Venir. To come, spelled V-E-N-I-R. Venir. Will you come with me? Would be. Will you?
Voulez-vous
Right. Come
venir
with me.
avec moi?
Right. Voulez-vous venir avec moi? To eat is manger. To munch, to eat. Manger is spelled like manger. M-A-N-G-E-R. Manger, to eat. So, will you eat would be.
Voulez-vous manger?
Voulez-vous manger? Always
Voulez-vous
put the
manger?
stress at the end. Voulez-vous manger? So again, to come is like to come what you find on the wood.
Venir?
Right. So, will you come with me?
Voulez venir?
I want you always to think it out and to take your time. So don't rush it. Will you would be.
Voulez-vous?
Right. Voulez-vous come?
Voulez-vous
Mm-hmm.
venir
Right. With me.
avec moi?
Right. Voulez-vous venir avec moi? How would you say, will you come eat with me?
Voulez-vous manger?
Come. Not so fast, because I want you to think it out. Step by step. Slowly. So again, will you come eat with me?
Voulez-vous
Come
venir
eat
manger
with me.
avec moi?
Right. That's what I want you to do. To go is aller. The English word aller comes from it. It's a passageway where you aller through. Aller, to go. Again, to come is
Venir.
venir. And to go is
Aller.
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 Yes, aller.
Aller.
Aller. So how would you say, will you go eat with me?
Voulez-vous
Go
aller
eat
manger
with me.
avec moi?
Right. Voulez-vous aller manger avec moi? So, voulez-vous means will you? Will you? Will you? Voulez-vous also means do you want? The word for where is où. Where. Where, où. Où. Just où.
Où.
Yes. Where do you want to go would be where.
Où.
Où do you want? Will you and do you want is the same. What is will you? Will you come with me? Will you?
Voulez-vous?
Right. So voulez-vous means will you. Voulez-vous also means do you want. So again, where do you want to go would be
Où voulez-vous
to go.
aller?
Right. Où voulez-vous aller? Where do you want to go? How would you say, where do you want to go eat?
Où
Do you want?
voulez-vous?
Yes. Again, will you is
Voulez-vous?
voulez-vous. And do you want is the same. Again, do you want?
Voulez-vous?
Voulez-vous. So where do you want to go?
Où voulez-vous?
Once more.
Voulez-vous?
Right.
Où voulez-vous
To go.
aller?
Right. Where do you want to go eat?
Où voulez-vous
To go
aller
eat.
manger?
Right. Où voulez-vous aller manger? The word for tonight is a beautiful word. Actually, two words. In French, you say this evening, which is ce soir. Ce soir. Ce soir, like in soirée, soir, ce soir, this evening or tonight. How do you say it is for tonight?
C'est
Once more.
pour ce soir.
So again, it is
C'est
right. Say, yes. So, it is for me.
C'est pour moi.
C'est pour moi. It is for tonight.
C'est pour ce soir.
Right. C'est pour ce soir. So where do you want to go eat tonight would be? Where? Where is
Où?
où? Do you want? It's the same as will you,
Voulez-vous?
right? To go. To go
Aller,
eat
manger,
tonight.
ce soir.
Right. So say it again. Where do you want to go eat tonight?
Où voulez-vous
Yes. To go
aller,
eat
manger,
tonight.
ce soir?
Right. Où voulez-vous aller manger ce soir? To have dinner, in French you say to dine. Dîner. Dîner is to dine or to have dinner. Le dîner means the dinner, but dîner by itself means to dine or to have dinner. Like, where do you want to have dinner tonight?
Où voulez-vous
To dine?
dîner
Tonight.
ce soir?
Right. You want to come have dinner with me tonight?
Voulez-vous
To come?
venir
To dine?
dîner
With me
avec moi
tonight?
ce soir?
Right. To know is savoir. Savi, yes? Savoir.
Savoir?
Savoir
Savoir.
is right.
Savoir.
Yes, spelled S-A-V-O-I-R, savoir. So I would like to know would be, I would like,
Je
I would like, je, I would like,
je voudrais
right, je voudrais to know,
savoir.
right, je voudrais savoir, I would like to know.
Je voudrais savoir.
How would you say, I would like to know where?
Je voudrais savoir où.
Right, je voudrais savoir où. How would you say, I would like to know where it is?
Je
I would like.
savoir.
Again, you're giving into sounds.
Je voudrais
Right. To know
savoir
where
où.
it is.
Ici. C'est.
Right. I would like to know where it is. I would like
Je voudrais
to know
savoir
where
où.
it is. It is for me.
C'est.
Hmm?
C'est.
Say it. Say it.
C'est.
Right. You see, because of sound waves, it is, say it is, does not sound good to be at the end of a sentence. I don't want you to do it by sound, but by thinking. The word for how much is combien. Combining combien, so much. Combien. I would like to know how much it is would be
Je voudrais
to know
savoir
how much
combien
it is.
c'est.
Right. Je voudrais savoir combien c'est. The word for something is quelque chose. Quelque chose. Chose, la chose means the thing. La chose. La même chose is the same thing. And quelque chose, something. How would you say, I would like to eat something?
Je voudrais manger
Something.
quelque chose.
Right. Je voudrais manger quelque chose. How would you say, I would like to eat the same thing?
Je voudrais manger
Manger. The same thing is la même chose.
la même chose.
La même chose.
La même chose.
La même chose. So la chose, the thing, la même chose, the same thing, and quelque chose, something. What is will you?
Voulez-vous?
Voulez-vous, François?
Voulez-vous?
Voulez-vous? What is do you want? Do you want? the same.
Voulez-vous?
Voulez-vous, right. How would you say, do you want to eat something?
Voulez-vous manger
Something,
quelque chose?
right. Voulez-vous manger quelque chose? How would you say, do you want to eat the same thing?
Voulez-vous manger
La,
la même chose?
right. Voulez-vous manger la même chose? How would you say, the same thing for me, please?
La même chose pour moi.
S'il vous plaît
S'il vous
is
plaît.
please. S'il vous plaît.
S'il vous plaît.
Right. La même chose pour moi, s'il vous plaît. I would like the same thing for me.
Je voudrais la même chose
For me,
pour moi,
please.
s'il vous plaît.
Right. Je voudrais la même chose pour moi, s'il vous plaît. Words in English ending in ence and ance come from French. Ence, like difference, and ance, like importance. Both ence and ance in French are pronounced ans. Difference would be différence. Preference would be
Préférence.
préférence. Yes. Importance.
Importance.
Importance. The IM and IN is
Importance.
Yes. Importance. Influence would be
Influence.
right. Influence. So again, difference,
Différence.
différence. The difference is la différence.
La
La
différence.
différence. A difference is une différence. Une différence. So again, the difference,
La différence.
la différence,
Yes.
and always the accent at the end.
Yes.
La différence. A difference,
Une différence.
une différence. And what difference is quelle? Quelle. What or which is quelle? Quelle différence? The preference would be
Le, la,
hmm?
la,
Yes,
la préférence.
la préférence. A preference would be
Ou
une
préférence.
préférence. And what preference? Quelle.
Quelle
Yes.
préférence.
Quelle préférence? Have you or do you have is avez-vous. Avez-vous, have you, avez-vous, avez-vous, avez-vous. Avez-vous is spelled A-V-E-Z or A-V-E-Z hyphen V-O-U-S. Avez-vous, have you, avez-vous, avez-vous, avez-vous. If you want to say, do you have a preference, would be
Avez-vous une préférence?
right. Avez-vous une préférence? What preference do you have?
Quelle préférence do you have?
Yes.
Avez-vous?
Right. Quelle préférence avez-vous? For what restaurant do you have a preference tonight? For is
Pour
what restaurant would be
quel
restaurant?
quel restaurant
Quel restaurant? Yes, pour quel restaurant do you have? Have you?
voulez-vous?
Sounds good.
Do you?
Do you have? Have you is
Avec.
have,
Avec.
no, avec means with.
Avec.
Yes. Have you is avez.
Avez-vous?
Avez-vous? Yes. Have you? Avez-vous? Have you? Avez-vous? So once more, for what restaurant do you have a preference tonight? For what restaurant?
Pour
What restaurant?
quel restaurant?
Pour quel restaurant
Pour quel restaurant?
do you have? Have you? Avez-vous
Avez-vous
a preference?
Une préférence.
Right, une préférence tonight.
Ce soir.
Ce soir, yes. Pour quel restaurant, for what restaurant, avez-vous, do you have, une préférence, a preference, ce soir? Words in English ending in ion come from French. They have the same spelling, the same meaning. Opinion is opinion. Condition would be condition. The T-I-O-N and S-I-O-N is pronounced sion. You don't have the sh sound, the English sh, shin, but sion. So again, condition would be...
Condition.
Once more?
Condition.
Condition, yes. The condition would be...
La condition.
La condition. A condition.
Une.
Une
condition.
Une condition. And what condition?
Quelle.
Quelle, right.
Quelle condition.
Quelle condition. Position would be?
Position.
Position. The position.
La position.
La position. A position.
Une position.
Une position. And what position?
Quelle position.
Quelle position. Reservation would be?
Reservation.
Right, reservation. All words ending in ation is ation because the letter A is pronounced A. So reservation, reservation. The reservation?
La réservation.
La réservation, always at the ending. La réservation. A reservation.
Une
Yes.
réservation.
Once more.
Une réservation. Réservation.
Right, une réservation. And what reservation?
Quelle réservation?
Right, quelle réservation? What is have you or do you have?
Avez-vous?
Right. How would you say, do you have a reservation for me for tonight?
Avez-vous?
A reservation.
Une réservation. Réservation.
Right.
Pour moi.
For
Ce
tonight.
soir.
For tonight.
Pour ce soir.
Right. Yes. Avez-vous, do you have, avez-vous une réservation pour moi, a reservation for me, pour ce soir, for tonight? If you want to say what kind of reservation, for what kind, in French you say what sort of reservation. So what sort would be?
Quelle sorte?
Right. Quelle sorte?
Sorte.
Quelle sorte?
Quelle sorte?
Quelle sorte? Sorte is spelled S-O-R-T-E. Quelle sorte? And the word for of is de, spelled D-E. So what kind of reservation do you have for me for tonight?
Quelle sorte
of reservation
de réservation
do you have
avez-vous
for
pour
me
moi
for tonight?
pour ce soir?
Right. Quelle sorte de réservation avez-vous pour moi pour ce soir? What is will you?
Voulez-vous?
Right. And do you want? It's the same.
Voulez-vous?
Right. How would you say, what kind of reservation do you want for tonight? What sort of reservation?
Quelque sorte.
Once more?
Quelle sort. Quelle sorte.
Of reservation? Of is de.
De réservation.
Do you want?
Voulez-vous?
For tonight.
Pour ce soir.
Right. Quelle sorte de réservation voulez-vous pour ce soir? We have about 1,200 nouns in English and in French ending in ION. You name them, you can say them. We don't have to go through all the 1,200. Out of 1,200, we may have 3 exceptions, 3 exceptions. out of 1200, which is not so bad. Like translation in French is not translation, but traduction. Traduction. So if you want to say, I would like a translation, would be
Je voudrais une traduction.
right. Je voudrais une traduction.
So is that the traduction?
Yes.
Yeah.
Always hit
Always
the
the
ending.
end, always the
Yes.
end.
Je voudrais une traduction. To do or to make in French is faire. It's very fair. Very fair to do. It's very fair to make. Fair spelled F-A-I-R-E. Fair. 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 It's fair.
Fair.
To do, it's fair to make. Like, how would you say, will you make a reservation for me?
Voulez-vous faire une réservation pour moi?
Right. Voulez-vous faire une réservation pour moi? What kind of reservation do you want to make? What sort of reservation?
Quelle sorte?
Of? Quelle sorte
De
de reservation?
réservation?
Quelle sorte de réservation do you want to make?
Voulez-vous?
To make. To do or to make is it's very fair to do. It's
Fair.
very fair to make. So, do you want to make would be voulez-vous?
Voulez-vous? Faire.
Right. Quelle sorte de réservation voulez-vous faire? What kind of reservation do you want to make? So, I said trois exceptions, three exceptions out of 1200 ending in ION. So, translation is one of them, traduction. So, will you make a translation for me would be?
Voulez-vous
Make
faire
a translation
une traduction
for
pour
me.
moi?
Right. Voulez-vous faire une traduction pour moi? Another exception is explanation. Explanation in French is not explanation, but explication. Explication, explication. To give is donner, to donate. Donner, spelled D-O-N-N-E-R. Donner, to give. So, will you give an explanation would be? Will you give an explanation for me?
Voulez-vous?
To give? To give is...
Faire.
No, faire is to do or to make. To give is to donate.
Donner.
Right. Donner. So, voulez-vous donner an explanation?
Une explanation. Explication.
Right. Voulez-vous donner une explication for me?
Voulez-vous donner une explication
For me?
pour moi?
Right. Voulez-vous donner une explication pour moi? And the third exception out of 1200 in ION is vacation. Vacation in French is vacances. And the French never bother with singular vacation, but always with vacations. It's les vacances. Les, L-E-S, means the for plural. Les vacances is the vacations. And to spend for time, in French is a pastime. The English word pastime comes from the French, spending time. Passer is to spend for time, not for money. To spend money is to dispense, dépenser. But to spend time is passer. Passer le temps is to spend the time. To spend the vacations would be passer les
vacances.
Passer les vacances. So, where do you want to spend the vacation would be?
Où voulez-vous
to spend?
Passer les vacances. Les vacances.
Right. Où voulez-vous, where do you want, passer les vacances? So how would you say the situation?
La situation.
Hmm?
La situation.
La?
La situation.
Yes? Yes, say it again.
La situation.
La situation. Yes, say it again.
La situation.
La situation is right. La situation. Mhm. And what impression do you have would be?
Quelle
Mhm.
Quelle impression.
Quelle impression?
Quelle impression.
Right, quelle impression
Quelle impression
do you have? Have you?
avec
Avec is with. Right. Yes. So once more.
avez-vous?
Right. Quelle impression avez-vous? What impression do you have?
Quelle impression?
Once more.
Quelle impression?
Say it again. Quelle
impression
do you have?
Avez-vous?
Avez-vous? Of the situation. Of is de. Of the situation.
De la situation. Situation.
Right. Quelle impression avez-vous de la situation? Words in English ending in ical, like political would be politique, and an ik. So political, politique. Economical would be économique. Yes. Philosophical,
Philosophique.
philosophique. Astronomical, astronomique. Logical,
Logique.
logique. Practical, pratique. How would you say? It is not logical, but it is very practical that way.
Ce n'est pas logique, mais
it is very practical that way.
C'est très pratique.
Like that.
Comme ça.
Right. Ce n'est pas logique, it is not logical, but c'est très pratique, it is very practical. If you want to talk about the political situation, in French you will say the situation, and then you will describe what kind of situation. So the political situation would be the situation, what kind? Politique. So how would you say the political situation?
La situation
politique. Right, la situation politique. The economical situation would be la
économie.
You're talking about the situation first.
La situation.
What's more?
La situation.
Économique. Right. La situation économique. And if you want to talk about the political and economical situation, the word for and is a, spelled et, like in etc. A. So the political and economical situation would be la
situation politique et économique.
Right. Yes. Économique. How would you say so la situation politique et économique? In France is en France. En, spelled en. En France means in or to a country, a province. En France, in France, or to France. Like if you want to say, I would like to go to France, would be, I would like.
Je voulais.
Of course. Yeah.
Je voudrais.
Right. Je voudrais. To go.
Aller.
Right. To France.
En France.
Right. Je voudrais aller en France.
Je voudrais aller
en France.
En France.
I would like to spend the vacations in France.
Je voudrais
To spend is to spend time is
passer
passer is right.
les vacances en France.
Les vacances.
Les vacances en France.
Right. Je voudrais passer les vacances en France. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking about trying to remember. Passer is to pass time.
But you're not supposed to try to remember.
Okay, all right. It's just association. All
That's
right.
against the
rules.
ground rule.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
You're trying to hold on to it. Please don't.
Okay.
Yes.